here for Turner Talk number 17. That's the benefits of discipline and responsibility in wrestling. How does that benefit somebody's life? So, talking about wrestling, yeah, just an amazing sport in general. All the things that it teaches you. I know this just from watching kids obviously develop in the sport and from my own path of development. I remember when my dad got me in wrestling in third grade, he kind of tricked me into it because I used to like watching wrestling on TV, like pro wrestling, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to go do that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So he didn't tell me anything. He also kind of set the kids up for failure in that first practice. So I walked in and like got partnered up with the kid. Immediately like kicked him in the stomach, DDT'd him, and they were like, "Whoa, dude! Like this isn't that type of wrestling." And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I watch wrestling every night, Monday Night Raw. Like yeah, they do this stuff, and they were like, no, like you take people down, double leg sprawls and stuff like that. And once I figured that out, I told my dad, I was like, oh, we're out, dude. This isn't what we were talking about. And he was like, well, you already started it, so you can't quit. And I was like, okay. So we did the whole year, whatever, got pretty good, won novice state, all that kind of stuff. But like, and I think got second at regionals, so qualified for open state, but got throttled in the finals of open regionals. And then my dad was like, okay, we're done for the season. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then the next year, he asked me if I wanted to wrestle again, and I was like, no, absolutely not, because I remember you tricked me last time. I'm not doing that again. So anyway, long story short, I came back to it myself in 8th grade, and then I developed the passion, developed the love for it. I think 8th grade I only won like one match, and I was like, okay, so this thing's gotten a lot harder. And yeah, so anyway, long story short, that's what happened. So like I said, when I started in 3rd grade, I had really, 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 really bad anger. Like I guess I still have it, but I know how to channel it better. But like when I was younger, it would just take me over and I couldn't control it. It was like I would just blow up. Like for instance, like one time I had one more blow up in 3rd grade because I actually had to shift schools. I went from Jefferson Elementary to Eisenhower Elementary because I was getting suspended so much, like kindergarten through 2nd grade. And I think my parents were like, let's just get a fresh start. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I was in wrestling and I had like one more major blow up and I got really mad, like threw the desk at the teacher. Like it was crazy. Like I was nuts. But through wrestling and having to discipline myself and learning, like I couldn't get in a fight every practice and stuff like that. I learned how to channel that anger, learn how to control that. And basically I think it saved my life, to be honest. And then I was able to control my temper for the rest of my life. Like I can control it now. Do I have outbursts? I'm sure, but at the same time, I'm sure if you talk to someone, they wouldn't tell you I was an overly angry person, right? I channel that into aggression, and I think there's a difference between anger and aggression, which we probably need to do another Turner Talk later about that. But moving on. So that just helped to discipline me and start to develop me as a person in that aspect. Now let's talk about responsibility. Okay, so wrestling is every sport teaches you how to be responsible, how to work hard, how to be there on time, how to hold yourself accountable. I'm not getting playing time, I'm not winning and stuff like that because I'm not putting in the work. Now I'm putting in the work, now I'm coming on time, now I'm being coachable, and now I'm winning and having success. So teaches you responsibility as just like every other sport, but wrestling is unique in the sense that it takes it to the next level, right? You have to be at the right weight class. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily cutting like 20 or 30 pounds, but you have to be at the right weight. If you're even 1/10 of a pound over, you don't get to wrestle that day, right? You have to make weight, and that's a big responsibility factor. I got to watch what I eat, and back to accountability. I can't be doing all this extra stuff right before weighing. So responsibility in that aspect. Also, I believe wrestling is, and I think they do this in a lot of other sports, but especially wrestling, you don't talk back to the official, right? Your coach makes sure to implement in your head that you don't talk back to the official. I see some of these other sports like basketball, especially the pro league in basketball, they're always talking to the official, and I think that's what bothers me the most. Because in wrestling, it gets hammered into our head. You don't talk to the official. That's the call that's made. Your coach is the one that talks to the official. You just wrestle. You just worry about wrestling. It also affects your mindset, right? If I'm worried about like the wrong calls and stuff like that, I'm not focused on the match anymore. So I think that's a really important part about wrestling and responsibility that it teaches you as well. So wrestling's cool too because it teaches you how to be an individual, but also be a teammate, right? It gives you both factors of sports because you are an individual with the amount of work you put in, with getting to the right weight class, with going out there and having to do your job, right? You can't tag somebody else in when you're in your match. But you also have to learn how to be a teammate, learn how to be a good partner, learn how to be there for people. When people lose, you got to talk to them, talk them back up, be a leader in that aspect. Learn how to hold yourself, but also your teammates accountable. Hey, should you be eating that, man? We're about to go weigh in. You know, the team has to win, not just you. The team has to win. Sometimes going out there, getting your butt kicked, right? Getting beat by like 14 points, but fighting to not get beat by 15 so you don't give up an extra bonus point for the team, right? So learning how to be a teammate in that aspect as well. So wrestling is a crazy sport in that sense because it teaches you how to be an individual, but also how to be a teammate. So that's a great thing about discipline in wrestling too. And we've just seen it. There's so many stories and so many testimonies about wrestling and just being a great sport to teach you all the different things about life, because it is really a microcosm of life if you examine it. That's another Turner Talk. I don't know which number that one is. I want to say like number 4. So if you want to check that one out, you can do that too. I also want to do a shout out real quick to Mike Stamp Productions. Stamp Productions that is producing these Turner Talks now. That's why they're a lot better than they were. And yeah, so make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and give me some more topics to talk about, guys. So appreciate it.